Hello there, welcome to my masterclass, Zero Rejection Marketing Makeover. I'm Stephanie Oden and I will be your facilitator for this class. And I'm going to walk you through the 5 things that you want to make sure that you do when you're doing a marketing makeover so that you can attract customers. Those of you who are new to me, again, Stephanie Oden, and I help business owners who are looking to get leads. Their confidence is wavering, even though they've had some success, and they are looking to next level their business and figure out how they can do that. And I help them. I have a proven system of tools and strategies that can help them shift from success to significance. And so I appreciate you taking some time out and just learning some of the things that I have to share. I am not an expert. I'm going to just put that out there. I'm not an expert. I'm a 1%er. I've made so many mistakes in growing my business that I know some things not to do. And so that's why I want to share some things with you today. And these are really, really critical. When I was starting out, I thought everybody, like I have a business, I have products, and I thought, okay, my business is for everybody. Everybody can use my stuff. Well, that might be true, but I am not for everybody. I don't resonate with everybody. And it took some time for me to get to that point, but it feels good to know that I am not for everybody. Who am I for? I am for the ones that I am for. And when you're not for everybody, it allows you to show up even more powerfully for the ones that you are for. I think about it like the boyfriend syndrome. And I know I was just talking to a client and she didn't understand. Actually, I was in a mastermind, and one of the members of the mastermind was sharing how what she wanted to do, who her ideal audience was, and she was really passionate and she zoned in on it, and it really fit her. Like I could see this. Meanwhile, when she gets done describing what she wants to offer to her ideal audience, another member of the mastermind raises her hand and says, can I come to that? Can I come to that? Literally, that is how it works. When you're clear and you know who you're talking to, when you know who you serve, when you know the problems that they have, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, you know the problems that they have, then you can better serve them more powerfully, more passionately, more consistently with what you have to offer them. And you also become a trusted consultant because they know that you understand them. So I'm going to give you some things, 5 things that you really want to include when you're doing a marketing makeover. Some of these you may have heard before. I encourage you, if you've heard them before, listen to them with another set of ears, right? A lot of times when we hear things and we're like, oh, I've heard that before, and we shut off. But open up, allow yourself to hear it differently. And if you're really wanting to have a strategy makeover, I encourage you to listen to some of the tips I share. And then I'll have some other resources and you can get more detail if you want to actually work through this process and on your own, or either work with me. So the first thing you want to do is to really look at clarity on who your dream prospects really are. And I have notes here, like I have a whole packet of information that goes with this. Reach out to me if that's something you want to get and work through. But you really want to have clarity on who your dream prospects really are. Like who are they? But before you know who they are, you have to know who you are. Who are you? What do you stand for? And who do you serve? If you could serve anybody, who would you serve? And once you start looking at that, you want to look at what are their biggest problems and their biggest challenges. So you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know who you serve, and you know what their problems and their challenges are. And you know, I have several people that have come to me and they ask me, well, how do you figure out your ideal avatar? How do you figure out your ideal audience? And you do the work. And the way I figured out who I served best was doing the work, like writing it down and digging in and putting it up and asking the question before I went to bed. That's an extra. Like if you really want to know the answer to something, ask yourself those questions at night, and the answer will play around in your subconscious. and you will continue, you will find an answer. I promise you will. It will come to you and it will be like, oh, this was like right there. So after you determine who your dream clients are, who you really want to work with, the second one I will tell you, and again, I know that's a big bucket, right? It's something that's going to take some work and some thought and some accountability to work through. But the second one is really clarifying your marketing message. So there's 9 parts to this. I'm only going to give you like as many as I can. I'm gonna give you as many as I can without it being too overwhelming, because that's the other part of this. You're not gonna sit down and go through all 5 of these steps in one thing. You're gonna actually break them down and take a little bit of time. Like I have a 5-part video series that walks you through each part. So you could do one a day or you could do one a week, but it walks you through it. Depends on how quickly you want to get clarity. So when you look at clarifying your message, here's some of the things you want to include. Who is your target market? Like who is your target market? Well, define the characteristics of that target market. What are their problems and challenges? So once you know what that target market is, look at what their problems are. What are the challenges that they are doing? And what are some of their questions that they ask? Like, the way I like to look at that is what keeps your target audience, your ideal. I don't like target. How about we go with ideal? Will ideal work for you? Ideal audience. What is your ideal audience's? What is their most pressing problem? And what are their fears? So we start to get to the fears. We start to look at the things that keep them up at night. Then we know how to be able to present solutions to them and add value. In all of this, and this whole strategy of this marketing makeover is all about adding value. Check this out. Whether or not that person chooses to utilize your services, your products, your opportunity, whether they decide to do that or not, it's all about providing value. And this is just me, leaving them better. That impression of increase. If you've done any reading, you know where that comes from, right? That impression of increase. What are their biggest dreams? Because on the other side of you got 2 sides. Like, what are you afraid of? What is your pain? And what are your biggest dreams? That's like actually a triangle. But those are the pieces of it. What do they really want? And I don't really, you could think, what are some of their objections? But if you really hone in on what their problems are, what their dreams are, what their fears are, and you show up in that place legitimately, authentically, they're going to know, they're going to like, they're going to trust, and it's not really going to be an objection, because they're going to know that you're standing in for them. It may not be, the time may not be right, but they'll know that they want to work with you. Does that make sense? I hope so. The third part of this zero rejection marketing strategy, I spent some time in, and before I tell you that, I spent some time as a quality engineer, engineer by trade, process improvement engineer. And I almost like to think of this as a zero defect marketing strategy, because that's, so much of that was ingrained in what I did for so many years. But it's actually a zero rejection marketing strategy. I just realized some other things you may not have known about me. I'm going to get to 3, but let me just drop this in here. I am I've been a coach for over 13 years. I'm also certified in Aroma Freedom, as well as a Success Principles certified trainer. So all of these aspects I bring to the table when I'm working with my clients and my customers, and also my brand partners. So what is number 3? Remember, I'm giving you the 5, right? What is number 3? This one, you need to take notes. Just get your pen and paper out. And here's the formula: problem, solution, and so what? Okay, you got that? Problem, solution, and so what? For example, let me just use this one. What is the problem? Most home business owners don't know what to do online. What is the solution? Right? I have a 7-step process that walks them through how to do that. I have tools and strategies that walk them through that. I have courses designed to walk them through that. Okay, that's kind of that nuts and bolts, right? That's like, okay, that's cool. And now that gets to so what? What is the benefit? So you can really get confident. So you can really be confident when knowing what you should do daily as you build your business. Know that you're doing it right because success leaves clues. Knowing that as you take the actions, that you're addicted to the actions because you know the actions are going to give you success. And as you work through the actions, you'll realize that, okay, yeah, I got this. I can do this. I'm in the zone. I'm in the flow. It's coming with grace and ease. Doesn't mean, here, listen, none of this means that you don't have to work. You do have to work. It's not going to fall in your lap. Nobody's showing up saying, usually, nobody's just walking up and saying, here, take my money. And then you tell them what you do. It doesn't work like that. They want to know you. They want to like you. They want to trust you. But you want to be able to communicate in your mind, knowing, okay, knowing what their problem is, and you know the benefit, but so what? What is the ultimate benefit that will benefit that particular ideal customer? And when you're talking and when you know this, here's the end of the story, right? When you know this, then you're talking directly to them. You're not talking to all of them, you're talking to them, and they know it because you're speaking in a language that speaks to their emotional self. So what is the problem? What is the solution? And then so what? And you really want to be clear on that. And that's one of those that you write it down and then you mull it around and then you write it down and you look for benefits. Like, one of the things I ask my clients is, what do you get when you work with me? Like, what is the benefit that you get of working with me? I know we do all these things, but what is the benefit? That really answers that so what. So if you have customers that have told you success stories, ask them, like, what is it that you really got from me? Yeah, I know that you got the product that from me, but what did that really do for you? And ask them feedback. Right? Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Feedback is your friend. So asking for feedback allows you to adjust. It's neither good or bad. I know, but that's true. And then when you look at the fourth thing, now this one's a little bit, it's really going to depend on where your ideal audience shows up, because it's all about your presence and how you show up. Because now we know who our ideal audience is. We know what problems they have. We know their problem, their what, and their so what. But how are we going to show up? Right now, and listen, all of this can be done all online or offline. And that's where this next part shows up. So if you're on Facebook, there's a way to show up in terms of how you create your profile. If you're on LinkedIn, there's a way to create your profile. If you're on Instagram, there's a way to create your profile. All of those are slightly different in terms of how you communicate. And even on TikTok, there's a different way to create your profile. So one of the things I would definitely recommend is know and look. If your ideal audience is not on a platform that you're on, you know what? Go to the platform that they're on and figure it out. Okay. If you need help with that, again, you can reach out to me. I can give you some guidance, some tools to understand how to set your profile up to be most attractive to the person that is your ideal customer, right? That is what we are looking for. We want to serve from that zone of joy. I know, frou woo woo. But when you're in your zone and when you're talking to them and you're mentoring them and you're serving them and you're providing them value, you're geeked because you know that you're like people that want to help people. Other people that don't, we're not talking about you, but people that want to help people, they are sincerely just they're on it, like they see it, they light up, they get joy when they do it. They're creative and they're in that zone of genius. And that's why you want to go where your people are showing up. So there's specific ways that you want to set your profile up. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, and I can help you with that. So it just depends. Profile pictures are important on all of those platforms. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is consistent across all of them. Your profile picture needs to be a good profile picture. Okay, it needs to be you. It doesn't have to be totally the beautiful, what is it, that nice handsome shot that there's no flaws. I forgot what they call those, but those ones with touch up. It doesn't have to be that, but in the picture it needs to be you on all of the platforms. Okay, so that they know that they're working with you, because that's what they're going to look for first. What is the impression of you? The second part of that is be careful dropping links. They don't even know you yet. They don't even know if they want to do business with you. Don't slam them with a link before you even know if they want to get to know you at that level. Those are some things that are caught across all the platforms, is making sure you have a good picture. And it should be representative of who you are. And those are some of the things that you definitely want to look at. Again, I can give you more guidance with some of those if you have some questions about those, and how to do that, and what are some of the tips. Again, like I said, my goal is to bring up others so that you don't take as long to get there. That's my goal as guide. One of the things that I learned from my mentor, and I've had several, but I learned this from Jack Canfield, is it is okay to be a master and a student at the same time. And that is totally okay. So I come to you as a master, but I'm also a student continuing to hone my skills on a regular basis. Then the fifth one that I want to share with you, again, remember I'm sharing with you 5 fundamental things that you need to have in your marketing strategy makeover so that you can have 0 rejection. And the 5th one is knowing how to embrace your passions and your interests, right? Knowing how to embrace your passions and your interests to grow your business. Now, you can do it on social, which is great. When I say social, I mean social media. But these also make sense when you're having a conversation. That's what I love about this strategy. If you know who you are and you know what problems that you solve, you can have a real conversation and not weird people out. Okay? So how do you embrace your passions and interests to grow on social media? How do you do that? There's certain topics that you're really comfortable around. I would pick 5 areas that you are really comfortable with, and make sure you speak to those areas. Things that are like real, like tell me about you. Like, I don't need the down and dirty, but who are you? What are some characteristics of you? Funny story, one of the things about me, people know that I like purple, which I do. But there's other things about me that communicate, that I intentionally communicate. I communicate encouraging topics. I communicate things that are inspiring, right? I communicate things that are uplifting. I communicate things that are mindset based. These are all areas that I would say would be tribal topics. Like, these are things that I want to be communicating. These are the things that I want to be known for. I communicate how you can build your business online. I communicate, sometimes I just communicate, let's just be real, like this is real life. And that's what people want. They want people who are real. They don't want people who are trying to be somebody that they're not. Time is up for that. They want people that are real. And so it's all about framing. It's all about framing your message. It's all about knowing what you want to talk about and communicate on a regular basis. And so, how can you frame things that you like talking about for your audience? So I call those kind of your primary topics or your tribal topics. And here's the other part of that. When you're adding value and when you're talking to your people, it doesn't you don't always have to offer something that's in line with what you sell. Add value. Add value. I am a empty nester mom at this point, and I have 2 cats. Well, I know other people that are cat people. I know other empty nester moms, and so I speak to that, right? I am over, hey, I am over 45, depending on when you watch this, give or take some years. So I have a different view on life that I could share my perspectives and how I show up every day and how supportive I can be and how encouraging I can be to others that are maybe going on that life journey. I can reach back. That's my whole thing. Is like I can reach back and say, you're going to make it. You can come through this. I've had other challenges that I'm able to speak to because I've been able to move through those situations. So those are things that can be framed for my audience. And what you want to do is usually come up with 3 to 5 things and stay around those when you're communicating. Again, you know the problems that they solve, you know the fears, you know the pains, and you can be specific and speak specifically to those, and you vary it up. So those are the 5 things that I wanted to share with you on how you can have a zero rejection marketing makeover. You have to do the work. It doesn't just show up. If I can help you, let me know. There's information here that if you want to know the details, if you want information on the 5-part video series that I offer to help you walk through this, along with an offer for a complimentary discovery session, then just check it out. My name's Stephanie Oden, and I am your leader builder. So take care.